In the last video, we were talking about what the night sky looks like under sort of nice viewing conditions and under the curse of light pollution here. Really doesn't do the night sky justice, but it's the way it is. It's just kind of too bad. But anyway, let me just go on a bit here. So it turns out that back in 2013, the New York Times had a really interesting article called Starry, Starry Night. And what they did is they went around various big cities and they graphically removed what the night sky sort of actually looks like because of all the light pollution, and sort of cropped or pasted in what the sky would look like if there was no light pollution. So let's just take a look. So these are all some popular cities here, that the way they would look if there was no light pollution coming from these cities here. Here's what New York City would look like. So this is the Empire State Building. Now, I've only been in New York City one time, and I had a hotel that was near the Empire State Building, so I could see this wherever I was, but I certainly did not see a sky that looked like that. So just imagine being in New York City, seeing a sky like that. Wow, right? Does anyone recognize this city? Well, this is Los Angeles. This is what downtown Los Angeles would look like without light pollution. And isn't this just stunning? First of all, the number of stars you see, and you're seeing some structure of the Milky Way in there, and just this is what it would look like. And it would almost be kind of freaky to live there if that's what the sky looked like. It's like, oh, what is all this stuff? Recognize this one? I think this is San Francisco, and I think this is the Oakland Bay Bridge here. And again, you can see, just imagine being in San Francisco and looking up, and this is what the night sky would look like. It would really be something, just to be surrounded by this kind of night sky without all the light pollution. This is a little alleyway or street in Paris, France. Again, you can see that the night sky now just becomes so bright that you're actually seeing some illumination on the ground because of these things. I mean, it's talking about the city of lights. I mean, it'd be because of the sky, right? Not because of all the artificial lighting on the ground. But just imagine the sky looking like that. And so lastly, then, I just wanted to tell you something that's kind of funny. So this was in 1994. There was sort of a bad earthquake in the Los Angeles area. And, of course, what the earthquake does when all the shaking was done is the power was cut off for, it was actually several days then. There was just no power at night because the power lines were knocked down and that sort of thing. It took a while to get them repaired. So there was no lights at night for a while. And so here's what happened here. I just want to read something to you here, which is out of a book that I have. I can tell you the reference of it if anyone's interested. Let me know. Okay. In the hours following the major Los Angeles earthquake in 1994 at 4 a.m., it was centered in Northridge, California. It prompted almost everyone who felt it to rush outdoors for safety and expect the damage, right? Like, what else would you do in an earthquake? You go outside, get out of the shaking building, right? Why not? But the trembling landscape also knocked out power over a wide area. So people are going outside, 4 o'clock in the morning, and all the power has been knocked out, so there's no lights, okay? Standing outside in a darkness for the first time in memory. This is sort of the key thing here that sort of strikes me when I read this here. So, outside in total darkness for the first time in memory. Hundreds of thousands of people saw a sky untarnished by city lights for the first time. And so here's the fun part here. That night, and over the next few weeks, emergency organizations as well as observatories and radio stations in the LA area received hundreds of calls from people wondering whether the sudden brightening of the stars and the appearance of a silver cloud had caused the earthquake. So think about that. And I'm not exempt from any of these things because I was born and raised in cities as well, and maybe you were. We've just never seen a really dark night sky before, unless you make a point to go camping or to the mountains or something in the desert where it does get dark. You just don't see the dark sky. And so when you see it for the first time, the people in Los Angeles actually thought that all those bright things were what caused the earthquake. But of course, that can't be true because the stars are always there anyway. You just can't see them. So that definitely isn't what it was. So anyway, director of the Griffith Observatory, many of the anxious calls they just couldn't believe that what they had seen while the power was off was just the normal appearance of the real night sky. And so he's sort of said here that he's an expert in mythology and constellations and things, that over the 25 years, there's just been a massive increase in the quantity and brightness of outdoor lighting fixtures, and so many of us have never seen a non-light polluted sky from one year to the next. You've just never seen it. So that's what this mythology is about. People just can't believe that that's actually what the night sky looks like if you can just get some of those nights turned off. So it's called sort of like an urban star myth. And here's sort of where one of our questions started here, where people even ask, the North Star is the brightest star in the sky, which just isn't true. But it's just all part of this idea that people just have never really seen the really dark night sky because of all this light pollution. Okay, so that's it. In the next video, we'll talk about what light is.